Hello, my name is Garrett Berry. I'm a member here at the Hogarth Club, and yeah, I'm a race car driver.
Tell us a bit about what you do.
I raced in things like French F4 and Europe F3 and did 2 seasons. But before that, I did junior karting in the US and did other things like that. Since a young age, I really loved racing, loved motorsport, watching it with my dad on TV. And yeah, continued the passion with getting my first seat in F4 and hopefully building a career off of that.
With your racing, was there a moment you realized it was more than just a hobby? Or
Yeah, it was actually my rookie year. I kind of went into it with a bit of fun attitude. You know, I was a bit older on the grid, a bit everything else. I actually had a really good rookie year. Got, I think, 2 victories and 4 podiums. It was a really good result, which really propelled my career.
For people who might not know, what is European F3 actually like?
It's kind of a spin-off to F3. It's a more affordable championship, but we still go to the same tracks that are FIA rated for Formula 1, for example. It's just slightly different cars, slightly older generation cars, but still very good tools to progress our careers and a really strong and competitive championship.
You got a favorite track that you've been?
Ooh, that's a very difficult one. I've been to so many really good tracks, but I think my favorite would be Red Bull Ring in Austria. It's just in the mountains, I think 2 hours away from Vienna. So it's just in the middle of nowhere in the mountains, and it's just beautiful.
What's the hardest?
Hardest? Ooh, I'd say physically and actual driving wise hardest, I would say Jerez or Portimao will be one of the hardest. Jerez is in the south of Spain, Portimao's in Portugal. Both are very high physical, high demand tracks where you're constantly getting 2 to 3G load in the corners.
And compared to the Hogarth roundabout?
Compared to the Hogarth roundabout, I would say there's a bit too much traffic there at the moment. You can't really hit that at full speed yet.
No overtaking?
No overtaking.
Yeah. What do you most love about racing at the level?
I mean, it's just adrenaline surging. It's just the rush of always trying to progress yourself, become better and better and better every single time you get to the car. It's not every day where you get to go 250 kilometers per hour and be within centimeters of another car and just push that thrill. It's just amazing. It's just the community around racing. It's everyone trying to push themselves to be the absolute best as possible. Because sure, there's the driving aspect, but you also have your mechanics, your engineers, your driver coaches, the truckies, getting the cars to the track. It's just a whole community of people trying to, achieve wins.
What are the biggest physical and mental challenges?
I would say physically wise, it'd be the neck and the core stability. But as our cars we have no power steering, there's also an upper body element to it as well, where we kind of hit up to like 25 Newton meters of peak force in the corners, which I don't really know, I don't know the conversion for it, but it can be up to 70 kilos at peak force in the steering wheel that we have to be able to sustain or turn, which is a lot mentally. The hardest thing mentally would be staying focused when your heart rate's at 180 beats per minute for 30 minutes at a time. It's just keeping the body going. It's the hardest part.
Well, rather you than me. And what does a race weekend sort of typically entail? What are the challenges of it, and how do you cope with that, staying mentally and physically sharp?
Yeah, depending on the race weekend, we can sometimes get there on Wednesday and not leave until get on the flight until 11 p.m. on Sunday. So it's kind of a long period of time where you're just at the track, sometimes exposed to the elements and everything else. On Thursday, we typically have our first free practice session where we're sometimes learning the track for the first time, get on the car for the first time, testing setups, testing 3,000 different things. Then by the time Friday and Saturday come along, we need to have the setup refined and we need to be refined ourselves to be able to get in the car and try and push for the victory.
People might not realize what your training entails to be a racing driver. What would you tell them? What do you have to do?
I would say it's quite unique. Some of the exercises we do will look odd to the open eye. It's very core and upper body focused. The legs don't really matter that much as you're only hitting the brake, and the brake can weigh heavy, but as long as your cardio is trained, it doesn't really matter.
How important are strength, endurance, and reaction time?
I would start off with the reaction time. Reaction time has to be one of the most important things in racing. First of all, when you start the car, when all the lights go red and they go out, you want to have the fastest reaction time to go forward and not go backwards, because it's happened many times before where you just have a slow reaction time and you just fall backwards for just no fault of your own. For strength-wise, it's the 25 Newton meters in the corner. You need to have that pure strength to be able to turn the car. And then the endurance aspect of it, you need to be able to do that for 30 plus minutes. So it's just all three kind of tie in different ways.
How do you prep for the reaction time?
Reaction times, there's many different ways to kind of train it. I mean, there's simple things like there's apps on your phone where it just goes red and second goes green, you try and tap.
How does then your gym training translate into the work you do on the track?
Yeah, gym training is actually one of the most important things of being a race car driver. You don't want to get to a race weekend and realize I'm not in shape. It's only one bad thing, and it's terrible to feel like that because there's no fault but your own. You have a whole team behind you and stuff like that. So if you kind of fail your own job, there's no point of you going out there because being able to do that, it's very difficult. So yeah, it's kind of like a wasted weekend if you're not physically ready.
And I guess it must evolve when you find out after a weekend what you need to do more of.
Yeah, it's especially going to tracks like Portsmouth and Jerez. Like I said, very physical. If you go to one of those and said, hey, I'm kind of struggling with my neck here, for the next few weeks or days afterwards, you'd be training your neck intensively to try and get it ready for the next weekend, just so you know you're prepared.
So you mentioned one of the key areas you have to train is your neck, not something other people do that much. What would you do to get your neck stronger and ready?
Yeah, so I actually have this harness that I kind of use. It's a great tool that allows you to kind of get load into your neck as safely as possible. Last thing you want is to be doing something uncomfortable than pull muscle in your neck because that's not going to be good for your health and stuff like this. But honestly, I think some aspect of neck training is good for the everyday person because just having a good stability up for your head is just very important.
And how long would you use that harness? How does it work for you?
Yeah, for the harness, I kind of do a lot with you actually. We kind of do 30-minute sessions where we kind of isolate each direction. So we do some horizontal and then we do some backwards and forward. We kind of just isolate every single 4 directions and just hold under load for 30 seconds at a time and put variance into the load.
And have you noticed over time big change to your neck?
Yeah, since it's off season, my neck's gotten a bit smaller, unfortunately. But during the season, it comes a bit big. Yeah. It comes a bit like unproportional to the rest of my body, which is always a bit funny when you try and put a button up a shirt and you can't button the top button. But yeah, it's always a bit weird.
Do people ever notice your neck?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Once I point it out, they're like, oh yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of point it out a bit first and they're like, oh, they cannot unsee it after that.
And do you remember the first time you trained or used the harness? What was that like?
I couldn't move for 2 days. Yeah, I was kind of walking around with like my neck like this just because the muscles just don't really get used as an everyday person. The most when you're on a road car, the most you maybe pull is a G, and that's if you're pushing it. So being able to sustain three Gs for more than a second, 2 seconds it's a big difference.
What first drew you to the Hogarth?
For me, living so close in this area, it's a really nice gym, and I mean, it's very community focused and not just, oh, everyone's here to work out, which is very nice.
Like a whole racing team.
Exactly.
And are there specific facilities here that you use yourself?
I use quite a lot of the facilities actually. I kind of use the main gym as my main area, but also the cardio section, the stretching area, even these high intensity room that we're in now, I use it sometimes, which I don't like to use it because that means that my cardio is getting tested, but it's a very good, useful tool. Then you also have things like the pool, the sauna. The sauna is a lifesaver living in the UK. So it's a really good recovery tool that I use.
How does the environment here help you stay consistent and look after yourself?
I mean, sometimes I've been to gyms before where it's just kind of torture almost. You have kind of like a mean community where they're kind of hogging machines and it just no one's really wanting to talk or do other things. And plus we have nice restaurants outside. So it's just, I mean, the community is what makes this place so good.
How important is recovery to your routine?
Recovery is very important because I'm in the gym 6-7 times a week, and to be able to keep my body fit and ready to be in those workouts, the recovery needs to be on it as well, not just the workouts. So in the sauna, getting the heat through my body, and sometimes just in the pool, just doing some laps just to keep the joints healthy.
How would you describe the atmosphere of the Hogarth when you're training here?
The atmosphere, it's a very interesting atmosphere at times. You have people from all over the world, many different backgrounds, many different ages, many different, I guess, strength levels. I mean, it's kind of just special. There's not one person's story is the same, which is nice.
Does training alongside other members help motivate you?
Yeah, I would say it does help motivate me. If you come into the gym and it's completely empty, like, well, I kind of feel out of place. You kind of don't really know what to do. When you have a good amount of people in here just kind of doing their own thing, just supporting themselves, keeping them healthy, keep them fit, it's just nice to keep that motivation.
How important is community here, would you say?
I mean, community is important anywhere. I say especially at a gym, because if you have like a group of trainers or just a random person you know well, if you're lost or you need help with an exercise, it helps being very friendly and having a good community to help you with that, or else you're just kind of left in your dark, kind of like in your own area in the corner. You're like, I don't really know what to do here, but I'm too scared to ask. But that's one thing the Hogarth Club has very nicely. It's a very open community who's very friendly.
Health Fitness Manager, right there. What advice would you have to anyone else training towards their goals?
It depends what your goal is, obviously, but if you're pushing your goals, if it's a marathon, if it's being a racing driver, if it's playing tennis professionally, is give it everything you have, because there's no point in giving it 80%, 70%, then saying, oh, I could have given it 20% more. Give it all 100, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you can't say you didn't try.
Who were your racing inspirations? Who are your faves?
Oh, that's a good question. It's kind of changed with as I gotten older. But growing up, I actually went to go see the Austin GP in 2013, where I had to meet Alonso and Massa, the drivers at the time. So Alonso still being in the sport is incredible, like 12 years after that. But yeah, I'd say Alonso and Vettel were my two #1 drivers growing up. I'm like, wow, these guys are insane.
Team Senna over here.
Yeah,
So
no,
showing her age,
well.
way before your time, but yeah.
Yeah, but Senna's obviously a legend in his own regards. He's, I mean, one of the best racing drivers of all time, no questions asked.
If you had to describe the Hogarth in a few words, what would it be?
Diverse, very diverse. I would say very clean. I think that's a big one at a gym. You don't want to go into everything sweaty and messy. Clean and organized are very, very key aspects of a gym. Open-minded. Every single staff here is just open-minded, especially doing this interview with me and doing interviews with all your members. It's just keeping the clients happy, which is what we are.
So what's next in your racing career?
That's a good question. That's always the fun question in the off season. Everybody wants to know. But this year I'm thinking of making the switch from Formula cars into GT cars. So it's taking that single-seater independence thing away, where maybe I share the car with 2 to 3 different drivers instead of just myself, in cars like BMW GT3s and BMW GT4s, and just more road cars, but still having that track element to it.
And then would that be based still Europe where you are now?
That would be based in the same aspect of the Euro Cup 3 season, just in Europe mainly. Maybe in the US if I get lucky.
Question I really want to ask you. When you come into the club, and you go through the car park and you notice someone's parked across 2 spaces, what's your reaction to it?
That's a touchy subject. Some people will hate me for that. The lines are there for a reason. So I would say stick to your lanes, even if it's a really nice car. You can always deal with insurance afterwards, even though it's a pain, but yeah.
What does your season look like? When does it start?
So most seasons start through March to April time. And then some go all the way until November. So some are very long seasons. Like for last season, mine started actually in February, because I did a winter series as well. And it didn't stop until November 30th, which is in racing terms a very long season.
Where could our members follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at GBerry Racing, where I kind of post everything to do with racing. Sometimes it's my esports side where I do things online as well. But also when I go to the track, I have links to the broadcast, and mostly it's on YouTube now. But hopefully I'm getting to the level where they start becoming TV broadcasted as well.
What's your best memory from your career so far?
I kind of have two key standouts. I mean, you can never beat the first one. The first one was at a street circuit in a track called Pau in France. But they don't race there anymore, so I was part of one of the last drivers to actually win that race, which is just stunning. But then I have another one where I kind of won my first time in Euro Cup 3. And it's just a track that I love, and just getting my first win in Euro Cup 3 there was just amazing. No, there's no better feeling than winning. So,
well, thank you for having a chat with us, Garrett. Good luck in next season, wherever that's going to be. We'll look forward to tracking you, and hopefully we can be here helping you out along the way.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.